Snow tie-dye is exactly what it sounds like. Basically, you just use snow to help tie-dye a shirt. As the snow melts, it mixes with the dye and makes these really beautiful crystalline patterns. This is really similar to ice dye, which is where you let ice melt on top of dye and clothing to create almost a watercolor-like pattern. Obviously, snowflakes are a lot smaller than cubes of ice, so they kind of create more intricate patterns. For this project, you'll need 3 things. 1, snow, obviously. 2, something to dye that's 100% cotton. And 3, dye. I use fiber reactive dye, which requires you to soak the garment in soda ash beforehand. But for beginners, I recommend a 1-step powdered dye, which is basically what you'd find at any craft store. You can use any kind of tying technique when dyeing with snow, but for ice dyes and snow dyes, I actually like to do a crinkle method. Basically, you're gonna find a container that's almost too small for the shirt and then stuff that thing in there. You're gonna wanna use your hands to create a lot of folds and crinkles within the shirt. Now you kind of have 2 snow options. You can pack it in there like you're making a snowman, or you can leave it nice and fine and powdery. When designing your tie-dye, you want to make sure to pick colors that, when combined, are actually going to make a nice color. I prefer applying the dye on top of the snow. That gives you more of a random, organic effect, which I love. You can also sprinkle the dye directly to the garment before adding the snow. That'll give you more defined areas of color. And now we just wait for the snow to melt. You can leave it outside, but depending on the temperature, that could take a few days, so I generally take mine inside. Once the snow is melted, that's when the clock begins. Basically, you want to let it set 24 hours at room temperature. You'll start by rinsing it out in cold water, probably in the bathtub. And then, last step, I promise, you run it through the washing machine on the hottest setting possible. My advice for anyone doing this for the first time is just have fun with it. And I promise, every mistake you think you make is actually what makes it better and more unique.